It's very cold, the cold of the Ice Age. The air freezes the inside of your nose. Spit cracks before it lands. His breath goes out in a white cloud and hangs there. A man is crouched in the snow. He's been downwind for an hour. His knees are wet through his leggings. He can't feel them anymore. 20 paces ahead, a woolly mammoth turns its head, and the ivory catches the low light. That ivory alone is worth more to his people than the meat. 20 paces. Close enough to throw a spear, but also close enough to die. His spear has a tip of woolly rhinoceros's horn, fitted to snap free the moment it strikes. He's carried this piece of horn longer than some children in his camp have been alive. The mammoth's flank rises and falls. Steam rolls off its back. It's 10 feet tall and weighs as much as 40 men. He knows what it can do. One swing of that head and the man is broken. One wrong step under those feet and there's nothing left to carry home. But the man must get closer. There's no bow here, not yet, not for 20,000 years. There's just the man, his spear, and less than 20 paces between him and the largest animal in the Ice Age. The man's hand is steady. It must be steady. There's no second throw. He rises and throws his spear. That strike isn't a guess. Archaeologists found the proof in the bone. Stone and ivory still stuck in the mammoth's shoulder blade. Puncture wounds from a weapon made by human hands. This happened on the bank of the Yana River, in the far north of what's now Yakutia, above the Arctic Circle, 31,000 years ago. So who was the man? He was a Homo sapiens, a fully modern human, the same species as you and I. That much the science is sure of. What he looked like, well, that's a harder question. In 2019, geneticists sequenced 2 young men buried at the Yana rhinoceros horn site. Their ancestry comes out mostly West Eurasian, with about a third tied to early Northeast Asian populations. It's a mix that matches no one living in this region today. Not the Sakha, not the Evenki, not the Yukaghir. The man hunted the mammoth because nothing else out there gave back as much. Ivory for tools, hides against the Arctic wind, and fat, the thing that carried families through dark months. There's another site found further south. It's called Yuri. A Soviet archaeologist named Yuri Mochanov dug there and claimed the stone tools he had found were nearly 2 million years old. The date he had claimed was old enough to rewrite where humans began. But it didn't hold up. Later, an international review dated the site to a few 100,000 years at most, and even that date is argued over. That's the Yuri site. Now let's go back to the Yana River, where we began. 31,000 years ago, a man throws a spear at a mammoth 50 times his weight. He's not us. Not yet. It's summer now. The Ice Age man is gone. 20,000 years have gone, and the world he knew is ending too. The great ice is pulling back. The air is warming, slowly, over thousands of years, and the warming kills the great beasts of the plain. The mammoth needed cold, dry grassland. Warming drowns it. Grass gives way to bog and creeping forest. The mammoth herds thin, scatter, shrink back north, and eventually they're gone forever. The last of them dying out around 10,000 years ago. Something new takes their place. Reindeer in their thousands, moose in the willow thickets, musk oxen and wild horses, and rivers fed by melting ice running thick with fish. This is the world a new people move into. A young woman kneels at the edge of a river, in the long low light of a night that never goes dark. It's midsummer in the Arctic. For a few weeks, this place is almost kind, but not for long. This is one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth. Winter runs 9 months. The ground is frozen a few feet down and never thaws. Nothing can be farmed here, and nothing ever will. So the people don't fight the land. They read it. The fish come in the same weeks every year. The reindeer cross at the same places. You miss the run, miss the crossing, and winter will kill you. But if you know them, the land feeds you. Her people live on memory and timing. She's checking a weir, a fence of woven wood set across the current, a trap the fish swim into and can't swim out of. These are her people's two lifelines: reindeer from the land, fish from the water. Everything else is built on those two things. She calls herself Odul. It means the strong people. Someday others will call these people something else. Behind her, up the bank, is the camp. In summer, they live in an ursa, a cone of poles and cover they can take down and carry when the herd moves on. In the deep winter, they go to the older ground, to a dwelling half dug into the earth. The elders hold the stories, where the herds cross, which lakes hold fish, which spirits own which stretch of a river, and what you owe them. A shaman speaks to those spirits. The dead are not gone. The dead are ancestors, and you must respect them. We call these people the Yukaghirs. They were not a small people. The Odul and their kin held a stretch of land vast beyond reckoning, from west of the great Yana River, across the tundra, to the cold northern sea. When the last mammoths were dying out of Eurasia, 10,000 years ago, the ancestors of these people were already here, already fishing in this river. They didn't come after the Ice Age world. They watched it end. Their language tells us the same thing. Most languages have relatives. English has German and Dutch. Russian has Polish and Ukrainian. You can line them up and see the family resemblance. The Yukaghir language has none of that. Linguists call it an isolate, a language sitting alone, with no clear living relatives, hanging on by itself from ancient times. Europe has one famous example, Basque, in the mountains between Spain and France, a language older than Latin, older than the Celts. Yukaghir is the Basque of the Arctic, a survivor from before the maps we knew. The Yukaghirs were here first, before the people this whole series is about, before the Sakha, before the Evenki, when the ancestors of the Yakuts were still far to the south, in warmer country. The Odul already knew this river, already knew when the fish would come. Today, there are less than 2,000 of them left. That's the question this whole story will try to answer. How do you go from a people who name the rivers to a people the size of a small town, teaching their own grandchildren a language almost no one speaks anymore? Far to the south of the Odul, the land is different. No open tundra here. This is taiga, the great boreal forest, large and pine and birch, running unbroken for 1,000 miles. In winter, the snow lies deep between the trees, and the cold sits under them, like something alive. In summer, the forest floor turns to bog, and the air fills with mosquitoes, in clouds thick enough to madden a grown animal. This is a hard country. And moving through it are a few hunters. They are spread through the trees, quiet, reading the snow for tracks. They are after Moose, the giant of this forest, and wild reindeer. One of them stops. He raises a call made of birch bark, a decoy, and blows through it, and out comes the sound of a deer. Somewhere ahead, an animal lifts its head and does not run. They are the best hunters in the Siberian taiga. They can read a day-old track in half-melted snow. They can move through country with no path and never be lost. They can live off this forest with almost nothing, where others would starve within weeks. But one thing sets them apart from every people around them, and it's walking quietly behind them. Reindeer, but not the wild ones. These animals carry the packs, the tents, the tools, the small children, and the whole weight of a moving life, loaded onto the backs of tame reindeer that follow the band through the trees. And when the hunters need to cross real distances, they climb on and ride. Almost no one else on Earth does this yet. Back through the trees come the rest of them, women, elders, children, and more reindeer. 2 or 3 families moving together through the forest. When the hunting here is done, they will pack their animals and move on, following the game deeper into country they have never seen before. The reindeer made them fast. A family could load its whole world onto the animals and follow the herd across vast distances. And so, slowly, over centuries, these people spread across the land. The forest went on, the game moved through it, and they moved after the game. North, east, down the rivers. These are the Tungus. You've probably never heard of that word. However, you may have heard the other one, the name they call themselves, Evenki. Most likely, they came from the mountains and forests around Lake Baikal, far to the south. Their ancestors were there deep in the Stone Age. And they never conquered this land on foot. They rode into it. They were among the first peoples on Earth to tame the reindeer. And they carried that knowledge north, into country almost no one else could enter. That's what let them cross great distances and live where others couldn't. And now they're spreading into the land of the Odul, the Yukaghirs, who were already here. 2 people in one enormous land. For a long time, that is the whole story of this region. Enough room for both. And the Evenki are still here. My mother is part Evenki. A few of us are still hunting and riding in the taiga. Maybe not for long. But look at that word again, Tungus. The Evenki didn't choose that word. The Russians didn't invent it either. When the Russians arrived, many centuries later, they picked it up from someone else. The people who coined that word, the people who would one day be numerous enough and powerful enough to name others around them, to give this whole land its horses, its cattle, its language, and its songs, that people isn't here yet. They're still in the south. They haven't arrived yet. And that's where we will begin our next chapter.